So welcome to another episode of Bad Station Works. I am in my car right now. I am on my way to a very little town called Östansjö. Probably butcher the name because my Swedish is still dåligt, very bad. But yeah, there is a guy living there and he's called Peter Björck. And people might know him from this awesome burgundy red Volvo 245 with a Lamborghini V10 engine. And he's building another car. Maybe you also know this, but he's now building a 244, so a sedan, four-door car with a mid-engine V10 and twin turbo, which is going to push around 1500 horsepower, 1400, something like that, and four-wheel drive and a full drag race roll cage with the funny cage and everything. It's like the most bonkers thing I've ever seen. And a while ago he posted in a video of his, you should go follow him, his channel too. But he posted on his channel that he was going to compete in Street Week, which is a drag and drive event here in Sweden. And but yeah, that event was, back then it was still only 7 weeks and there was no wheels on the car, nothing. I was like, maybe he could use some help. So I sent him a message and said like, hey, would you like some help? And I didn't figure he would respond at all. But then he responded, yeah, sure, come over. I'm working on the car like every day, literally every day, and he's actually doing that. I thought he was like exaggerating, but he's not. And so I went to the car, well, to him and the car in his workshop, and then built some parts for him. I helped him, so people following me on Instagram probably have seen the pictures. I'll insert some images during this talk, which is getting quite long already, but to give a little bit of a different blah blah. Anyway, pictures here, and today I'm going back. No idea what we're going to do today. He said bring your welding helmet, so that's here on the driver's on the passenger side. Chair, seat, and on the other side of the car at least. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I can shoot some pictures there, or video. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Bye bye. So here we are at Peter's build. As you can see, nice twin turbo V10. The car's up high because I'm working on the suspension, but yeah, there's a nice V10 in there. Super cool funny car cage, all welded in Dokal R8 tube. I've worked with it because it's also in the suspension and it's super nice, super lightweight, thin-walled stuff. So this cage is super strong but also super light, which is a very nice thing. But yeah, so it's kind of hard to see for the untrained eye, I guess, but this is going to be a Volvo. There is some panels and parts laying around. As you can see here, there's a plane, which doesn't have a plane in the workshop, but yeah, and here is this is the body. It's going to be on there. And some rear panels. There are fiberglass. Probably need some modifications later because the car is quite beefy. Here's the suspension parts I made. This is the suspension parts that are original R8. Yeah, and some kind of like quite beefy wheels. This will be the rear wheels. The front wheels will be a little bit more skinny, but still nice drag slicks, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this is the thing I've been working on this all evening. I've been here for I have no idea what time it is. It's like 9 o'clock or whatever. What does the computer say? 21:17. So it's 9 o'clock. I arrived here. So I've been here for 3 hours. And the thing that what I was working on is the suspension, because, well, if you start it, you have to finish it, I guess. But yeah, when putting it on the car, we were like, let's first make sure that everything clears, because there's these nice Öhlins coilovers, which I removed the shock to be, or the spring to be able to test the full suspension travel. So we set everything to camber. This is on full compression, by the way, so there's a little bit of negative camber, and corrected the caster and everything, and set the the upright, this part, kind of like to how it will be-ish when the car is finished and will be aligned, to make sure there is enough clearance. And as you can see here, there was no clearance on, or not enough clearance on the coilover. So I cut this out, and also had to cut here because this part of the upright and also the upright shaved a little bit. Made some markings where I need to take off a little bit more just to be safe. And also these nice CNC machine mounting points that Peter made, they also needed a little bit of shaving, but that's more cosmetical changes than that it actually does something to the rigidity and the... I'm getting tired, I can't find my words. To the strength of the part. So bottom part's almost done. I need to fabricate some spacers here. I did make a spacer before. This is a spacer I made as a test, but this needs to be 30mm lower to get the kind of like the original geometry, because the bottom and the top should not be parallel, I guess. Or at least they should be the same as the original suspension. This is the part from the other side with full original arms. And you might ask, and you're fully right, but you might ask why not use the original R8, because this is quite nice aluminum stuff, except for using the Heim links, the Heim joints, I should say. The Heim joints are fine, but it's mostly that Peter wants to use these 15-inch. These are 15-inch wheels that are going to be widened. They are widened, but this is just a test setup. But these original arms don't fit. Well, they fit like this, but this one should be kind of like here, and then the mounting point will be way too far outside, and the wheel will be poking out the car like a meter or whatever. So that's way too big, and we don't want that. So big update, long story, I should say. But this is quite exciting stuff to work on. It's a little bit different than a Volvo 240, I can say at this point. Anyway, but the plan is now, so okay, we made clearance. So you can see here with full compression on the suspension, the bump stop hits the coilover. So this is like actual full suspension, nothing is binding anymore. But the thing is that I'll try to lower the jack here. It's needs a little bit of work because it's built thermal quality. Yay. It's hard to see like this, but I took out quite a hefty chunk from this beam or this rod to clear everything. So the idea is now to use the clearance I made as a guide to make maybe even a little bit more clearance, and then make some strengthening. So I'll probably try to bend something and go like this. We're first going to put this wheel on to see how much clearance we have for the wheel here, because yeah, already the handbrake mounting points are chopped off because nothing fits. This is an Audi R8. It's not meant to be driven with 15-inch wheels, but yeah, drag racing requires a little bit more tire. Yeah, so long story short, more machining, more fabrication to be done, and also the offsets between this and the upright, same for down, needs to be finished. This is a temporary spacer Peter made, but this needs to be aluminum and fitting better. It's now installed, so it's now solid, but it tends to move around a little bit, and that's something you don't want on a car like this with a lot of horsepower. But Peter is working on the wiring, which is quite impressive to see. But while I was working here, I heard some clicking and zooming from solenoids and things working. So I guess he's making a little bit of progress, but fingers crossed. 2 weeks left for the car to be finished and drag racing in Street Week. So Street Week, Sweden, go follow it. It's a really cool event. We're done for the night. It's 10 o'clock. Been working for 4 hours. Fixed one side of the suspension. I'm going to finish it at home, but now at least we have zero clearance issues. I'm bringing the original ones to use for spacing references, damper, etc. And then next time we're going to test fit the final version on one side, and then afterwards copy it to the other side, and then the rear suspension should be done. But now it's time to go to bed. Got a 45-minute drive ahead, so let's do that. Okay, so one thing that's really awesome, I was just driving home from Peter and I was thinking like I should also mention this for my audience, for everybody who's interested in Sweden in any way. This is, it's last weekend was midsummer, which means that it's the middle of summer, and well, the longest day in the year, and that means I live like close to Örebro, which is like, feels like halfway through Sweden, but it's still actually the south. So up north it doesn't get dark at all, but here, well, it's 22:44, so it's almost 11 o'clock at night, in the evening, and it's still super bright light outside. And it will get dark, but only for like an hour or whatever, and then still dark is a relative term, so to say, because it's never really dark in this time of year. And this also means that, like, if there is a super nice sunset like there is right now, the sunset is not like 15 minutes and it's gone. It's like it takes forever. So it's like this for an hour and 1.5 hours. And that is just super awesome. So driving home after working hard for a night like this, and then yeah, just enjoying nature and everything, it's just super nice. Especially after a long winter, then you really start to appreciate summer even more. It's just the best thing. I just get emotional. Anyway, so that's just something I wanted to share. Bye bye. And here we are back in my workshop, trusty Volvo, and Peter's suspension parts. And this is what I now, since it's uninstalled from the car, you can clearly see our concerns with the notching we had to do. Started as like a small notch that I made, which we thought would be enough, but like when fitting it on the car, turned out to be way too little. So we had to clear more to clear the Öhlins shock, and also to clear the top of the upright. So this I grinded off all the casting marks. On this side you can still see them. They were pretty high on this side, which saved a millimeter, and well, it's angles and everything, and in 1 millimeter there it was like 3 mil of extra suspension travel. Anyway, so we're going to strengthen this, and my idea, one of the ideas I have is I made this small piece of steel that's going to go inside this tube, and I'm going to drill some, because this is 10 by 10, this solid piece of bar, and it will clear all the angles. So if you look like this, which is the angle for the upright, and like this for the shock, it clears everything. So I'm going to weld this in, which effectively makes the tube thickness on the outside 13 mil instead of 3 mil, which is already quite hefty. And then I'm going to weld a similar piece of bar, which is even bigger. I think this is 14 by 14 mil on the outside, because that's the only place we have room. So all the issues, so it comes down to having this 15-inch inside diameter wheel, which makes everything hard. But we can solve this. I think, I'm not an engineer, and I haven't done any calculations, but I think 10 plus 3 plus 12, 14, whatever, that's super thick. And the stresses on this part, we think, will be mostly, well, probably not much compression, but mostly tension and no bending forces. Because when the car accelerates, all the horsepower, they try to move the wheel away from the car, and that just pulls on this part. No, this is by the way, this is the front, this is the back. So this one will have most of the load. This one's, well, it's not decoration, but not as important as this side. And there will probably be people now cringing me saying this, but this is just 2 weeks left. This is what we have to do. We can't redo this And also, if we would redo this and make a bend in this tube, then still it won't clear the wheel. So we have to go a route like this. So we'll make this ugly, test it, and if the wheel doesn't fall off, then we'll make something that's a little bit more permanent and well designed. So let's go with this.
So this is where we're at before cleaning up and making it, will never be pretty, but prettier than this. So yeah, a 10 by 10 bar inside welded from the outside and the inside, and then a 14 by 14 bar on the outside that will get a little bit of shape, a bit more pretty. And if this interferes with the wheel or whatever, then we can just grind off how much we need. But this will be, I think, plenty strong enough. I think like only the 14mm bar as a connector would have been fine. But now, yeah, this is better, hopefully. So I went back to Peter's car and test fitted the suspension. Everything works fine. There is plenty clearance. It's now on full droop, and I can put a finger here, but even if I lift it, which I can't because the shock's in place, but even if I lift it, there will be there. You can still look between. You see light between the two things, which is good. Yeah, so you can see the clearance needed here for to clear the shock, the nice Erlin shock. But also we need a little bit of clearance here to clear this. So this notch goes here to clear this the upright, the most upper point of the upright. But that's one thing. It works, so we can have full suspension travel. Everybody's happy, everything's nice and fine. So I'm going to take this apart and bring the adapters I made home so I can take some measurements, because I was super smart to not make a drawing before. So I take this home, copy them for the other side, and then I only have to add. So this is the sway bar, which is up here. Normally with a lot of cars it's always down and attached to the lower support arm, but this car has it all the way up here, and we need to attach it, and normally it goes to this point, but we can't because the upper support arm is in the way. So I need to make a little bit of a nice mounting point / bracket, exactly where I drew some lines on the support arm, and it's going to well, mount like this. So sway bar mount, and I'll also copy it to the other arm. This is the completely stripped down arm for the left side of the car, which has no suspension at all, only a tie rod. So that's the next iteration. If that's finished and the wheel still fits over everything, we might need to do a little bit of grinding. I'm a little bit afraid that the wheel, since it's 15 inch, it might hit here a little bit. It should not be that bad. Also machined down the, well, this one was already done with a grinder, but also I machined down the wheel hub, the bearing assembly, I think it's called. So I machined it down to fit in this super small Audi A6, I guess, rear brake disc. So it's hard to lift with one hand, but it's super tight fit. But it works, it rotates, so clearance is clearance. So although it's like less than a millimeter, but clearance is clearance. So getting along. Peter is working hard on all the wiring. Inside, still, I get a headache only looking at it, but it's his specialty, so I have full confidence that he'll figure it out. Say hi, Peter. Yeah, we'll be fine, right?
Yep.
How many days?
Is it 10 days or 11?
Less than 2 weeks at least. Fingers crossed. There we are, in the, what I think mostly hope will be the last iteration of the upper control arms for the R8 suspension on Peter's Volvo. Yeah, sway bar links. So these are the links, and I had to make some mounts. So I measured back when I was still at Peter's workshop where they have to be. Made a bracket from a laser cut piece with a 13mm hole, and there is a little bit of a bushing that's pressed in to convert from 13mm to 10mm, and also to space the heim joint a little bit off the bracket so it has room to move. Because if this would be straight on the bracket, then you can you limit the movement very much, and now it can move everywhere we want. So yeah, and I finished the bushings, the adapters. So this is the bottom one, copied it from the one I had before. This is the top one, the other one's there. And yeah, well, my welding helmet's already in the basket, so I can take everything to Peter's workshop after my lunch. And then we'll install it on the car. Hopefully it will be good in one go. And then we can jump on the next thing, like maybe build an exhaust or whatever for this car. Depends on what's left. We'll see it in 1.5 hours. So I'm on my way again to Peter. This is like the 6th or 7th time I'm making the drive all the way over to Östersjö. I decided to take half a day off of my job instead of spreading the hours I can spare working on his car
over 3 evenings. I was like, I can better do it all in one day. That saves me 6 hours of driving. Well, 4 hours, because then I have to make one drive. Anyway, long story short, I have to make these misalignment spacers shorter. I have to adapt the aluminum bushes, like adapters that I made before. That's not hard, but it's the lathe. So Peter only has like a super fancy CNC machine and one of these Chinese lathes that has more play than the suspension in my lifted Volvo. So it's and it's super slow. But today in the trunk of my car I have some of my cutting tools that I use on my lathe that might speed up everything. Even though the machine is super slow, then at least the cutting will be a little bit better. So hopefully I can finish left side of the car today, and then my secondary goal, or like the main, well, it's part of the main goal because I want to have the suspension finished, but the next step would be to align the car. Is a big word, because I'm not an alignment specialist, don't have the tools to align, but the least I can do is at least measure left and right to make sure that the mounting points are at least within half a mil, the same on each side. So I'm not going to do camber, toe adjustments, etc. I want to get the toe by eye and the camber measured with my phone's level, which is very not accurate for somebody that does a little bit of machining. But at least then the car will be good enough to drive to somebody that can do a little bit of alignment, like actual alignment, without the wheels pointing in every direction instead of the direction they have to point. So yeah, our drive to Stockholm, and I'm starting to accidentally talk Swedish, that's weird. Anyway, I see a car coming that looks like a cop car, so I'm going to hang up now. Bye.
Okay, so it has been another night of working, one evening, afternoon, day of working on the Midvo, the mid-engine Volvo V10 Twin Turbo, blah blah blah, from Peter Björck. And yeah, the suspension is finished. I'm really happy with that. Everything works, needs to be aligned, obviously. Did some preliminary simple measurements on at least the tie rods, so the wheels point kind of straight. But the guys will continue my work tomorrow when I have to do my office normal work. The shocks are back together, mounted everything, made some bolts, like one bolt was missing. I made that from another bolt that was too long, but same thread, because it's like M12 fine pitch thread on the Audis. Very nice. Yeah, the other side was already finished, but as you can see the uprights are missing, and they are over here laying on the ground, and they have been heavily modified today by Peter Schmidt and other helpers, I should say. And yeah, they will be holding some brake calipers, because that's also quite nice to have on a car. Braking, I think those brakes, like hand for size, will do most of the braking, but also it's mostly for the rules. I think these very tiny Wilwood calipers will do the braking on the rear. And also this has to fit inside this tiny 15-inch wheel that will get the huge drag slicks. So I don't know what to say more. Everything's looking good. Engine is running apparently. I haven't heard it run, but it is running. And some bug hunting. And the final question is, will the gearbox work? And then again, there's outside guys working hard on the body of the Volvo. Well, what's left of the body of the Volvo. This is a Volvo 240. Yes, you won't believe it, but this is a Volvo 240. You can see by the hinges mostly, because that's the most what's left of the Volvo 240. But new sales, and today David worked on the window sill. Is that the word? I don't know. The edge around the window. Anyway, for a new window. And the company came over to measure the windows to make some polycarbonate windows. So yeah, coming along, exciting stuff. It is Thursday evening, almost 10 o'clock. Still people are working hard on the car. Victor's working on the body, white body. The trunk is being built by Peter and Johan. David is also helping, and Peter Björck is working hard on the engine. Still some technical issues with the wiring and stuff, but it's coming along. It runs, it can roll. So yeah, I've been working on a trailer hitch that's on the floor. It needs to be attached to the points that I made over there. Couldn't use. People will probably think why we didn't use these bolts, but these bolts, they go through and just only thread into aluminum. So, and if the trailer or later the parachute will jerk on the mounting points, then it might rip the threads out of the aluminum brackets, which is not nice. And yeah, so trailer, I expect maybe a very tiny aluminum lightweight trailer, but it's not. Because yeah, it's here. This is the trailer that they're going to bring. It's quite huge. It's hard to gauge the size. But there's the Volvo actually, the 245 with the V10 Lamborghini engine. And well, this is the trailer that's going to be attached. So this is quite heavy. So I put in a little bit extra effort to make everything super sturdy. It's the tube I used is like, I think 4 mil thick. But it's super beefy. So, but I couldn't finish it today because I have to drive home an hour. So somebody else has to cut the triangle shape I made. A little bit crooked, but it works. And then estimate or measure the actual length. This slides in, and there will be a pin here that keeps the actual toe point in its place, so it can be removed. So this part will stay on the car. This part will be removable, and then later the parachute bracket or the parachute holder can go in. So that's it. Quick bonus shot of the car on its wheels. It is low, hard to see on video, but it is super low. Fuck, this is ridiculous. And now I'm going to bed. Last day, well, less than 24 hours left before the race starts. Car's still on the lift. Not a surprise there. It runs, so there's a little bit of an issue with one bank. Or from the V10, one bank is running lean and one is running rich. So they're working on that. Maybe a vacuum leak on one side. But there has been a lot of progress. I worked on the tow hitch last Thursday, and yesterday David Skogsby finished welding it up, so it's in the car now. It can be removed. Have to have a removable hitch on your race car, right? But this is also going to function as a parachute mount for when the race is longer than 200 meters, because street week is only 200 meter run. And if I'm not mistaken, you only need to have a parachute if speeds in these 200 meters are over 240 kilometers an hour, which is very fast. And Peter thinks, guesstimating on the engine that was in the R8 before, it run 200 something, and now this chassis is super brand new, so probably won't be as fast as the R8. But it's almost there. I have to go. I have other things to do today, sadly. I would have loved to keep working on the car. I was just going here to film this video with the latest update, but then I put together with my girlfriend, put the bumper back and the headlights around and the grille and the indicators and stuff like that, and the fenders that Victor made. Super nice. Well, yeah, well, they are quite nice to design, but well, it's they were made yesterday and the car has to run tomorrow. So the emphasis is on function, not on form. So we'll probably get some nice like lips here in the future or whatever. Something when there is a little bit more time to work on the car. But for now, this is what it's going to be. So yeah, guys, the A team is now working hard. I have to go sadly, so hopefully I'll see Peter tomorrow at Mantorp when I'm going to look at the first race. Exciting times. Can't go without a still. 5 plus horsepower. And that's the last video I recorded at Peter's workshop. It is now Tuesday, and Street Week started last Sunday, and sadly this story didn't end, as you guys are probably used to from watching TV shows and films, where they're always like rushing, doing things in the last minute, and they make you think they're not going to make it, and then they make it all on the last second. But this is real life, and sadly it doesn't work like that in real life. Sometimes it does, but in this case it doesn't. So some of you maybe have seen on Peter's channel already that the car drives, everything is finished enough to work and to be able to drive and do the thing. And sadly, the gearbox didn't want to do the thing. So they are still debugging. Last picture I got sent like just 5 minutes ago, latest news, is that the gearbox is out of the car. And they're going to open it to see if there's any mechanical issue or a sensor that's wrong or something inside the gearbox. Let's keep our fingers crossed if they will make it at least before Friday. Because that's then will be the last race in Luxor, and it would be nice if I can. The next clip after this one would be me filming Peter in Luxor on the track, or somewhere else, at least driving, instead of another shot of me bringing bad news.
Vibrar ju. Ja, alltså den är helt. Ja, applådera till Peter Björken. Kolla den här skitballa fyrhjulsdrivna Volvo Lambo motorlåda. Sitter där bak i skuffen. Ja, jag ser den också. Ja, men titta vad cool. Peter Björk åker från den här anläggningen utan att jag får till stage. Så Tompa är snart på väg in.
are in the Laxo Motorstadion. Peter's car is over there. Just watched his first run, last until now. He's fixing something on my car, but it's going to take a while. And I'm like almost burned up in the sun, so I'm gonna go home. And this is the end for me for this awesome adventure, and I'm super proud and also very thankful to Peter and all the guys for accepting me and just having me in the team and working on the car. And yeah, so I saw the car drive. This is the conclusion for this video and for my adventure. The adventure will continue if it's up to me. Next week, I talked to Peter before, but he's super busy and stressed out about everything. But he's I'm going to visit him next week when the calm has returned. Visit him and have a little chat about how we can continue working on the car, because I kind of grew fond of this car and I kind of want to continue working on it. So that is what I am going to do probably the coming time. My own projects will have priority, obviously, because this now there's plenty of time. Now the street week is ended, and yeah. So conclusion. This is a long video. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments on how I can improve my video, what you like, what you didn't like about the video, do you like watching me weld stuff, or do you just want to see some cars move or whatever, let me know in the comments, and I'll keep it in mind for my future videos. Still quite new to the YouTube game, so trying to do my best for this. But see you in the next one.